Hey there, this is Trevor. I'm going to do a really quick video today, but it's actually about a really important concept. So, what I want to talk about is why math gets so hard sometimes. So, sometimes it feels like it's a really difficult thing to do. Some people will describe math as being something that they don't feel good at, and there's I think one main reason why that happens. So maybe you watched my video from yesterday's post about derivatives, and maybe when you watched that video, you said to yourself, oh, I already know derivatives. Or maybe you said, hey, I really got something out of that video that I hadn't had before. Or maybe you said, I still don't get it. That's pretty abstract to me still. I still don't feel like I understand derivatives. It wasn't as easy as you told me it would be. If you're in that third group and you felt like derivatives are still difficult for you, it probably happened because one of the concepts that I used to describe that limit definition of derivatives was already abstract to you. So maybe when it came to the slopes of lines, you had that. And you're like, yeah, slopes rise over run, got it. That's delta y over delta x, got it. That's y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1, got it. But then when it finally came time to, looking at limits, you're like, ooh, I've never seen limits before. Or I saw limits before, but it was many, many years ago, and I don't remember them. I didn't get what you meant when you wrote that limit. So here's my point, and it's really, really important. If you want to learn something and it's not working, it's not because that thing is a hard thing to learn. Really, it's not. It's not because calculus is hard. And it's not because you're inherently bad at math. That's not the reason. The reason is there's something that information is based on that you don't have yet in your mind. So it's kind of like this. When someone goes to learn something and they're having trouble, it's kind of like going up to hike a mountain. And you're up against a sheer cliff. You're sitting there at the cliff and you're looking up, and it's smooth. And maybe your professor's at the top of the cliff going, hey, you gotta be up here for the final, so find your way up here. And you're sitting at the bottom and you're going, I don't see how I'm gonna get up there. I don't see how that's gonna happen. This happens. If you've ever climbed before, or if you've watched people learning how to climb before, then you might have experienced this. What happens is they'll look up for that hold and they go, I can't reach the hold, I can't reach any higher. And the problem is, what they actually need to do is they need to look down. You need to look at what is easily accessible to you, that if you improved on that, then you could reach a little higher. For example, derivatives might be complex because, like I said, maybe you didn't have limits. So if you're running into anything in math and kind of in life, anything that's hard, don't just keep running into the wall. Instead, look down, look side to side, and see what can I do right now that would bring me closer. Especially in math, listen for the things that you that get a little unfamiliar. You hear limits, you go, I don't know limits. Or you do a little algebra and you go, I can't quite remember how to do the algebra. Or you see a fraction and you go, I forget how to multiply this thing by the fraction. Look for the things that make you uncomfortable but that are more manageable. Because my bet is, if you're studying calculus, that even if you had a little bit of trouble with some fraction, you don't have the same sensation about fractions as you do overall about calculus. You can say, certainly fractions make me a little uncomfortable, but I can go study them. And it's kind of like looking down when you're rock climbing. You look down and you go, oh, there's a foothold, another one kind of, by my shin maybe. And I can just move my leg up and put my foot on that, and all of a sudden I can reach the next highest handhold. And so instead of looking up at what's difficult and what's next and how far away it is, look back, look down at the stuff that you haven't mastered. Because I have a philosophy about learning. that everything you learn is exactly the same in difficulty. It's just a model. It's maybe not true all the time, but it's actually true, I think, a lot of the time. That if you know all of the prerequisites to learn the next thing, then learning the next piece of information is actually not that hard. Okay, so that's the secret. That's the tip. Don't look up, look down. Look at what stuff that concept is based off of that you don't know. Those things will be really manageable, and if you master all the things that the concept is based off of, then that concept is going to be easy for you to get ultimately. Okay? So if something's doing really, really hard, it's probably because some easier, more manageable thing isn't where it needs to be. So that's where I want you to look. By the way, I'm on my roof. This is San Diego behind me. So anyways, glad to talk to you today. Hopefully you get something out of this, and I'll talk to you tomorrow.